This 1947 Farmall M is right at home on the family farm in central Indiana, but it could have gone a different way. This red tractor could easily have been auctioned away from the family, in part because the guy driving it has a busy career that has nothing to do with farming.
Well, I'm Mike Fisher, and what I do is I'm a doctor, I'm a radiologist, and I grew up on a farm. Where we're sitting right now is my great-grandfather's farm that we own now, and that's me.
Mike has worked for decades as a radiologist, but during his years growing up, he helped his dad farm, and he spent many hours on this very tractor.
The story with the M, it was my dad's tractor, and that was his main tractor for a long time. When I was in high school and in college, I worked on the farm with my dad. We farmed probably 1,200 acres at the most at that time. That was a long time ago. My dad passed away a couple years ago. He was about 90 when he passed away, but he farmed about 1,200 acres. And no, the M, I drove it. And that was a tractor my dad used to plant with a 4-row John Deere planter. Picked corn with it, planted with it, and then as time went on, he got bigger tractors, but he still used that M all the time for mowing. Had a sickle bar mower, and I used a sickle bar mower too.
Though Mike always loved the farm, he and his wife Claire were busy raising a family near the city of Indianapolis, and they hadn't even seen his dad's old Farmall M in many years until it came time for the auction, when the M and an H that was Mike's great-grandfather's were both to be sold.
Well, I always knew where they were, but I didn't have any, kind of like, okay, you do other things in life, and my dad doesn't farm anymore and didn't think too much about him. And then I found out that they were going up for an auction. It's like, you know what? I'd like to have those tractors. The day of the auction, I had to work, but I am the only one in the whole world that knew these tractors and had driven those tractors. So I had a little more incentive to want to own them, because it's a personal. But I couldn't go to the sale, so my wife, I got her to go in my place.
Well, it was a little scary. They talk really fast. I'm pretty conservative, so when you get in those bidding auctions and the numbers go up, I was just very grateful that my dad's oldest brother, my uncle Bill Dunbar, came with me to Lawson's auction, and we had kind of worked it out ahead of time. It helped a lot that Mike was on the phone, because between us all, it felt a lot more comfortable than I thought it would be.
You gotta give me 2,200 for the H. 2,200, 2,200. Sold it out 2,100.
It didn't take very long to just go like that, and we got both of them. And we didn't get them at a very bad price. We got a really good deal on them, I think. So we didn't spend a tremendous amount of money. And I don't know, it took like 3 minutes.
I was really excited. The great thing is I knew we had the space for them. I knew he would be happy. I would have been devastated if we hadn't gotten either. So getting one would have been a great option, but getting two, I think, was twice as nice.
Winning the bid for the family Farmalls was one challenge. Another was getting the M started. Mike admits he's no mechanic, so he enlisted family friend Terry Myers and Claire's Uncle Bill, but even with their help, the tractor would not fire.
I know that tractor. I drove that tractor when I was a kid, and now I've got the tractor, and it wouldn't start, and we tried really hard. We ended up buying manuals. We had to get a manual. We tried our best, and we came out here like 7, 8 times. We had the space heater in there because it was cold out. Could never get it to, no matter what. So finally, I found a guy. His name's Kurt Bannister, and he's a guy that does antique tractor or older tractor repair. I found him. He lives up in northern Indiana. I called him up because I didn't know who this guy was, so I called him. Turns out he's fantastic.
Yeah, in the end, obviously, he sent it to a professional that knew what he was doing and really got it to fire, and it sounds really good.
You got to go to the people that know what they're doing and that know how to restore old tractors. That was not me.
Back in the day, Mike's dad had the tractor painted, but mechanically the M needed help. there were a few oil leaks to fix and a switch to a 12-volt battery to help make the 75-year-old tractor easier to keep running. Most of all, hearing the tractor fire up was like music to Mike's ears.
Oh, listen to that purr. It was like, oh my gosh. I mean, because when you try and you can't get it to work, it's like, it was pretty exciting actually. And now it purrs like a kitten.
Sharing the revived Farmall with family has been special as well, with Claire's uncles visiting to take the M for their own test drive.
They used them when they were younger. So my Uncle Bill is 92. He'll be 93 in a couple of months. My Uncle Pete is 86. Yeah, they were so excited to jump on them and drive them up the lane. And it just brought back a lot of memories for them.
And now, whenever he needs a change of pace from radiology, Dr. Mike can cruise the farm in style on a moving piece of Fisher family history.
I have power steering, and it's easy to drive. Of course, I'm going at a slow speed right now, but it runs great. You can get a little, and it's just like a beautiful day out here, just with an antique tractor. The Farmall H and the M have been on this farm for years. I'm glad that they're back. They're back home.
I didn't hesitate because I knew how important it was to him. It's really sentimental, and they were his father's. That's just a piece of history really for our family that I didn't want to lose.
I think my dad would be proud that I own it. I think he's looking down right now on us thinking, you know, a proud moment for him to see his son on his old tractor. I wish he was here. It's more his tractor than mine.
Hey there, thanks for catching Classic Tractor Fever. If you'd like to see more red power, be sure to check out these other classic stories. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to keep those classic tractor stories rolling.